Stella and April from Just Say Scrap with Close to My Heart, and we are here with Technique Tuesday.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Yes, took my words right out of my mouth. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So today we are going to be using our stamp chamois and experimenting a little bit so we can try and see what other things the stamp chamois can do besides cleaning stamps. So, ready to experiment?
I am. Lots of leprechauns here. Lots of leprechauns.
Hello everybody, so we are here today with Technique Tuesday, and we actually have our re-inkers here. So we're going to try something different today. We're going to go over just a little bit of inking. We were going to try it with our holographic paper, but we found out that it doesn't work. So we're moving on to something different, but that is okay. So we are actually using the all-purpose mat because we are going to be putting little droplets of our re-inkers onto the all-purpose mat. And I was at first actually using our Wisteria ink with one of our sponges, and you can kind of see I made this cool sponge pattern. But what we wanted to experiment with is if we used our stamp chamois with it. So our whole entire point of this whole video was going to be the stamp chamois anyway, but we were going to try to do it on the holographic paper, which ended up not working. So we are moving on to just regular paper. So these are the stamp chamois. This is what they look like. They come in packs of 2, so it comes in a package like this, both sealed up, and then you can unseal it like I did with this one, and they say Close to My Heart on them. So they are supposed to be wet. This one just came out of the package. It does have a little bit of a dampness to it. When it dries, it will look like very, very wrinkly person. Or, I don't know, hippopotamus skin. Give me something that's wrinkly.
Elephant skin.
Yeah, sure, elephant skin. Something like that. It'll look and feel weird, but if it dries up like that, just put it under some water. Or if you want to, you can always store it in water. So our craft jars are great for that. You can kind of keep it smushed up like this in a little bit of moisture, and it will be good for you to use on your crafting weekends. So what we're going to experiment with, though, is instead of using a sponge to do what I did here with this pattern, we're going to use the stamp chamois. So we're trying this out. It might dye our chamois a little bit, but if you don't have a sponge or something like that, hey, maybe you'll get something different with the chamois. So, sound good?
Sounds good to me.
So I'm going to take our Lagoon Re-Inker here and just put a little bit of a dot on my all-purpose mat. And what I would do with the sponge is I would just dab it in there. Well, I'm basically going to do the exact same thing with the chamois. So, going to get my chamois all inkied up, and I'm just going to use it to ink. That kind of looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
This might not be the purpose of your chamois, but you know.
You know, the chamois was made to clean stamps and blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to try something different.
Yeah. So this is actually a 3x3 card base that I had actually messed up because I ripped it too much. But if you do something like that, you can always just put washi tape on it. But I wanted to kind of see how this looked and experiment with it because I'm also going to pull in the holographic paper here to kind of just see what it looks like. But my whole point with using these colors, you can actually see that when I kept going, the ink is actually coming off of the chamois. So I think that gives us hope that it will clean.
Mm-hmm. And we'll try to clean it later.
Yes, we'll move upstairs to clean it. But the whole purpose is also like, that looks really cool, doesn't it? Actually, it looks really good. We're trying to find colors that go very well with the holographic paper so we can also give you kind of a color chart. But what I usually like to do when I have re-inkers or alcohol ink, which this is not alcohol ink. Our inks are water-based, not alcohol. So that's why it didn't work on the holographic paper, because it's water-based, so it didn't dry on a shiny surface like this. If you do have any alcohol markers or anything like that, then you can color on here like our alcohol markers.
Right. And our StazOn would
Yes, our StazOn would work. Or if you went out there and you got the re-inkers for our alcohol markers, you could use that because it's alcohol-based. But what I kind of like to do when I'm creating something like this is This is a completely different texture than what you'd get with the sponge. The sponge, you see how you have a bigger open texture. this, I don't even know what this looks like. It just looks like the ocean to me, really. And that's kind of what I'm going for. But you can kind of see, like, isn't that a cool pattern?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
And what's nice about the all-purpose mat, too, is that I can mix on the all-purpose mat. So if I actually wanted to put these inks down together to mix them on here, I could do that. But we're getting a really cool pattern on this. Should I throw in some evergreen? Do you think it's too much?
I think the evergreen might be a little too dark for
I'm
that.
gonna keep
right?
the evergreen out. Yeah.
Do you want something else?
No, I kind of like this.
Put a little Carolina in there.
It looks very oceany to
Oceany.
me.
Yes, I was just gonna say. We'll probably go
So if you're
really
making, you know, tiny cards like this, like look how cool that looks. Those actually look really good together.
Yes, it does.
But that's kind of just an introduction to the chamois. This is us not actually cleaning a stamp with it, but that's basically what it does. It removes the ink from places, and I guess I'm cleaning my all-purpose mat with it too. I guess that works as well. But just kind of trying something different to show you that, like, even though this is a cleaning tool and you don't need your spritz cleaner like you normally would with this. Yeah, you don't need that, any of that stuff. This is something that will have a dual purpose, I guess, in the long run. So you don't have to have any extra tools like that. But cleans my fingers too. So let's go upstairs and clean this. I'll put my rings back on. I took them off before because I thought I'd get really, really messy. But we're going to go upstairs and clean the chamois, actually, and show you if it actually comes clean.
All right, so here we are at the sink. Gonna see if this will come clean. Oh, it came clean already. So there you have it.
That was really easy.
That was very easy. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than that, but look, it's done.
Yep. Wow. That was really easy. So that is our experiment. And as you can see how easy the chamois is to clean. And I mean, you just squeeze it out and a lot of that water even came out of it.
Yep.
So if it dries on you, remember, just use water.
In the video that I saw that the home office put out, they actually had a bowl of water sitting next to them, and they dumped it in here, and then they squeezed it out, and they washed their stamp and the block, and then to rinse it off, they just did the same thing and squeezed it out, and ta-da, you know, left it to dry. So
super easy. So you can use it for all of your inking needs and use it as a sponge or anything like that, which I think is really cool. And cool. Yeah, there we go. That is our stamp chamois. And that's Technique Tuesday. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed. This is our little stamp chamois. Still a little damp still, but it totally came clean. So just showing you that you can do anything with your stamp chamois, I guess. So that is our fun experiment for the day. Go stay safe, stay inside, and we will be seeing you next Tuesday. Bye. Bye. Do some fun things. So we will see you. What are you doing?
we have a leprechaun behind the.
You messed me up.
It's gold. It's gold.
Who's on the phone? Who's on the phone?
My school district.
Oh,
Oh, whack-a-mole. Whack-a-whack-a-whack. Ah! Whack.
They're not getting stuck together anymore, man.
No. See, you could do this like me, and then you have your back up front, and then you go this way.
This is our entertainment for the next few weeks.
Oh boy.